YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage back, and I finally got you some more online battles. Got a few. I got 2 on Attila and 1 on Rome Total War for now, and I'll try and get more lined up so I can mix these in with the campaign episodes. So yeah, I mean, some of you are like, "Hey, you're always trashing on Attila multiplayer. Why are you playing it?" I mean, it can be okay if you get into a match. I mean, I think it's the tournament rules that become a snore fest for me the most. Like, I like watching the tournament battles that other people put up because I like to see kind of some of the strategies and the micro and the stuff that people do in order to be successful. But since they're all like max 6 cav, all that other stuff, like all the matches end up pretty much being the same thing. Which, not to say that couldn't be the case in quick battle, because it very well could. But you tend to get a little more variety here. And in this case, for instance, my opponent brings an East Roman army that's got an absolute crap load of ballistari. He's got 6 of them. 2 metallatoi, which are pikemen. 4 legio, 2 of them are armored legio. He's got 1 heterea guard. And then he's got some tagmata cav as well. And we're playing on this flat open map, which I actually really dislike. It's very ugly. I guess it's fair and balanced. It's just lame. So in any case, I'm playing as the Visigoths, which I ought to have a pretty easy time with the East Romans. But I don't know if the East Romans use some heterea guard, right? I mean, they're definitely capable. They just have a slight disadvantage in a cavalry fight versus the Germanic something factions. Otherwise, they've got some decent tools. So yeah, I've got the obligatory 6 Germanic something nobles and 2 Gothic Falksmen, 1 on each flank, and then my center is just 6 Gothic Warband. These guys don't have much health or defensive stats, but what they lack in that they make up for in offense and on the charge. So these guys are just decent, cheap shock infantry basically. And then my general here is a Gothic general. I always put the brace whenever I bring a cav general. Just makes sense that you'd put brace on there to give them a bonus versus cavalry, since most of those generals don't have such a thing. My opponent's army, like I already pointed out, he's got 6 ballistari. I think he's got 4 tagmata cav with silver upgrades. So these guys have some pretty nice melee attack stats. It's just their medium weight versus the heavy weight of my guys, but still, they'll do okay. Metallatoi are kind of like decently armored pikemen that the East Romans have, but they are kind of expensive if I remember right. These heterea guards are really the most frightening unit in my mind that the East Romans come to the table with. And it's because the two-handed axe right now just absolutely owns everything in a blob fight. His center is not worrisome at all. I mean, the Eastern Armored Legio have enough health that they might be able to survive a fight with one of my Gothic Warband, but it's not likely. And then over here, we've got 2 Tagmata Cav. One of them's gold chevroned. Then his general's just got he's got a Magister Militum, which is a good choice. I like bringing the Magister Militum. Nice tanky unit. So I have a range advantage with the Germanic something archers because they have 200 range while pretty much nothing else in the game does, and they're dirt cheap on top of that, which I think that my biggest frustration with Attila Total War isn't the fact that it has slightly different mechanics from Rome 2, not even so much that I'm not saying this isn't a problem, but not even so much that it's the variety is way lower. It's just the fact that it's been out for a few months and CA's done like practically nothing to address some of the... I mean, they did put out one patch that helped with the Tagmata spam, and I appreciate it a great deal, but it just did lots of other weird stuff. It didn't address like the balancing the fact that, I mean, like I said, Germanic archers are dirt cheap and have insane range, better than anything else in the game. Persian archers are worthless, even though you'd expect them to be good because they're too expensive, and even if they weren't expensive, they're still not that good. You got units running around like Burgundian Royal Lancers that just own the snot out of everything on the charge. Burgundian axes, dirt cheap, and chew up almost any infantry in melee. I mean, it's just stuff like that that's been frustrating, that there's almost no attention given to it, and that's one of my biggest beefs with Arena right now. Isn't that I hate Arena because I've never played it. In fact, those videos I saw the other day, there was some very interesting stuff when they did the event, and I want to be excited for it. I'm just a little bit irritated that it seems like we're pouring all of our innovative stuff into Arena and just ignoring the multiplayer and the standard games that we all paid good money for, with the idea that we would be getting a campaign and multiplayer, which we did. It's not like they didn't deliver it. It's just that I kind of expect them to polish it. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents. I'll get off of that thread though, because I know some of you don't like it, and that's fine. But I mean, I still have fun in the battles. It's just not near as good as it could be. So my opponent, this is what I was trying to do. I wanted to pull his crossbowman out. Basically, I'm gonna get rid of this thing down here, minimize it. I wanted to pull his crossbowman out so that I could force an engagement here. So now my opponent's going to have to pull up his infantry, which are lagging a bit. And so I used that range advantage to lure him forward. And he's going to get some decent crossbow shots, but I'm going to end up murdering some of his crossbowmen almost instantly. And then I take the rest of my cav and go ahead and pull back. While these two cav, I'm going to kind of just sacrifice, or at least this one, going to sacrifice it right up the center just to destroy more of these ballistari. So basically just taking a whole bunch of money away. And then I lure my opponent into a cav fight that's very close to my infantry. So with the support of my Gothic Falxmen, and this is a pretty typical Attila move here, just throw your cav in and then just blob your infantry in right on top of them. My opponent's using his hurlers back here to some decent effect, but he'll be hitting his own horsemen. But those hurlers will have a good effect against my unclothed Falxmen. And if we look all along the line here, I've got my infantry up the center helping my my horsemen, because like I said, I ended up drawing my opponent too far out. So you'll notice that he's going to engage my infantry and other units within support of my cav. So it's just not a good decision here for him to do this. And then as he fires these crossbow bolts, he's going to be hitting just as many of his own men as he will my own, which at this point, I'm okay with that trade. Again, here's the Eastern Armored Legio, say, taking on a Gothic Warband. So the Armored Legio costing quite a bit more. My Warband must not have gotten a perfect charge, but I mean, it's still an even fight, even though the Legio are higher tier units and stuff. Just the Gothic Warband are extremely effective for their cost. They're not the best at everything, like they're not the best at cav support and some of the other stuff. I went into heavy shot, and I'm peppering his Hedarea Guard, and I don't even care if I kill my own men. This Hedarea Guard is really one of the only threatening units on the battlefield for me, so I'm just going to absolutely pepper it with heavy shot and just take it out of the fight. As long as I get rid of the Hedarea Guard, then my infantry will be able to reign supreme. I've lost quite a few units in my general here, but he's going to get through and chase down more ballistari. And then I have some cav here that should get free in a moment, and I'll be able to chase yet more ballistari. Now, I think he should have brought his Magister Militum over here and gone after my general a little quicker. He is getting some shots and killing some of my Gothic general. It's not a bad trade for him. I'm going to go ahead and wreck those slingers. Not that it really matters at this point. Yeah, you can see his Hedarea Guard here. Got a few kills against Gothic Warband, like 50 kills here. And that's pretty fast, actually, considering how short a time they've been in that fight. But you can see that at this point, I'm just absolutely showering them with heavy shot. And their usefulness is almost gone. They are throwing axes into the back of my men, though, which is wonderfully brutal of them. But yeah, the heavy shot is taking its toll. The Hedarea Guard are almost completely gone, down to 31 men. And I'm just going to retreat my infantry and cav here to support my archers, who have a lot of ammo and great range. And I'm going to be able to cause a lot of problems. Just going to keep fleeing from his Armored Legio here with my general. I don't do the best job, but I keep in front of him. He's just got these two more ballistari units, which are really, again, the only two units on the field that pose any significant threat to me. His cavalry is going to die here, this Tagmata Cav. It stays in the fight almost to the last man, though, because he has a gold chevron. Can't remember if I get a charge here or not. I'm not going to. My Gothic Warband just going to stand here and take it in the back while the Romans get him. That wasn't real smart. It's a good thing the Romans don't have any charge, so to speak. Yeah, so my general is going to catch these two ballistari. My opponent continues to try and kill my general. Good move. And ballistari are quite good at it. You can see every time he pops off a volley here, he's getting some pretty quick kills on my general. So I'm going to go ahead and give another attack order to come over here into these guys so he can't keep firing. So his ballistari are going to be off the field. My Germanic archers have a lot of ammo, and now I'm back into heavy shot once again, and I'm now killing his Menolatoi. Because I can get rid of these pikemen, and then again, just kind of picking off whichever units I please at this point. His Magister Militum got engaged back here with one of my Noble Germanic Horsemen, and I don't know if I didn't get a decent charge or what, but he is going to support with Menolatoi, and this is actually really good support on the part of my opponent. See how he gets these pikes right up here? And they're going to really help pull down that Noble Germanic Horseman, so nice use of the pikes there by my opponent. Well done. But I mean, at this point, he's in rough shape. I've got 4 Germanic archers, again, with a decent amount of ammo left. All of his ballistari are off the field, except for these couple of beat-up units, and they'll be easy to chase down. I get a not-so-great charge into these Armored Legio. Hitting units from the flank on the charge is actually really crappy. Hitting them head-on is much better. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but that's the case. I mean, hitting them from the rear is the best, but I mean, hitting them in the flank when they're in a weird shape like that, I mean, it's almost no kills, as opposed if I would have hit that unit from the front, it would have entirely annihilated it. It's just a weird, it's something to do with the engine in Attila and Rome 2 that just does that, and I have no idea why. I think it's just about the number of men who are connecting on the charge. That's probably what's driving it. You can see here my archers are going to finish mopping up his Legio. they threw some of their plumbata darts there. But these guys are eating a lot of archer fire. They do have a very good block. That's one of the good things about the Roman units. High health, good block chance, so they can generally absorb a lot of missiles. My cavalry, though, is chasing these guys up and is going to finish them off. So you can see my cav here getting in here. We're going to finish off the rest of these East Romans. And I believe his Magister Militum, yep, is in a big brawl back here. So the Roman Magister is trying to fight for his life back here, but he's surrounded by noble Germanic horsemen and some infantry as well. And he's going to suffer badly in this fight versus my men. And in fact, I believe the enemy general dies here in just a moment. I don't know exactly where he's at, but with the death of that general, it's certainly a GG here. So the Roman general's gone. And then he's got this one unit left, and let's watch this charge. So let you see what the Gothic warband are capable of on the charge. They are quite deadly.
Their general is dead. A lethal blow.
So yeah, there's the Gothic warband doing some good old Attila decapitating. Anyway, so Visigoths Pyrrhic victory over the Eastern Romans. I wouldn't say that was an amazing performance on my part to get a Pyrrhic victory with the Visigoths, but I mean, my opponent brought these ballistari, and that was the main killing point of his army. And to be honest, they just didn't get enough kills because I drew them out a little too far. This was a pretty heavy investment in his Tagmata cav for not a whole lot of kill return either. What's interesting to me is that he gets these Menelautoi. For being as cheap as they are, they probably turned out to be some of the more cost-effective units in this battle. Just because of the number of kills they got. Now, they're not cheap, but they're cheaper. But yeah, you can see that some of these units here, I mean, nothing on my side did anything really spectacular. My general got a ton of crossbow kills. Noble Germanic horsemen, I don't know exactly what all they killed. Mine were just more evenly spread, and a lot of these are Heterea Guard kills, which it's pretty much worth it. Killing a unit of Heterea Guard almost justifies 4 of these Germanic archers just by price. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that battle. I'll be back with more online battles throughout the week. Just keep your eyes peeled. HeirofCarthage signing off for now.